Hey everybody, it's Cy. I am with you again for another Plan with Me, Faye edition, because I am working on Faye's binder to try and make something out of it. So, when we last spoke about this, I had gone off to prep the dividers. Now, I've done that. Normally, I would either paint over whatever the existing divider is with a white gesso, which is just an extra chalky white acrylic thing. Um, but in the absence of my white gesso, which I can't find or have possibly run out of, I decided to go the other route, which is a Mod Podge and some slightly higher than normal quality um, white paper. So that's what I have prepped these with. It's not that big a deal that you can see where it's folded over because we are going to cover these with this stuff. Now, this stuff is, I think I've heard it called mulberry paper. It is quite thin and it's got quite obvious sort of fibers in it. And I think, just thinking aloud, the ones for the bits that you can actually still see a bit on, I might have to use a darker color. Let's see. Well, no, you can't really see, well, maybe a little, but you'd be able to see it more once we've glued it. But I am going to Mod Podge this other layer on the top. What's that yellow doing in there? I wasn't planning on using that. We'll see if we need it later on. I have already repunched the holes. I thought it was important to do that while I could still sort of see through it with light. And the tab covers have also been covered in paper and stuff, but these are not going to end up covered in this stuff even. They're going to end up with their own handmade tabs actually glued over the top of the whole layer. So today I just thought I would show you what's going to happen with these. We still haven't totally decided on a set of categories yet, so that's not, I'm not going to write on them today, but I am going to show you how I stick. So this is exciting. I'm still not entirely convinced that this is gonna, yeah, good enough. Okay. Now the thing with any paper that has any kind of translucency or transparency to it is you need to choose your adhesive carefully. Normally, I would save time by using a double-sided tape, or I would use a dry paper adhesive. Unfortunately, with this, it's just not going to work. And with a solid object, like this, with something that's quite supposed to be quite sturdy anyway, and gets a lot of handling and movement, it's better to use a liquid glue so that it will flex and move with the surface. So it really is just a matter of painting this Mod Podge on. And I'm just working directly onto my cutting mat here because as it's a PVA, I just have to wait for it to dry and it'll just peel off, right? Let's hope. So yeah. I do like to cover the whole surface if I can, but if it's a large surface, it's not that great because part of it may dry before the rest of it gets glued. But I don't like to stop in the middle because it makes a funny, like a seam almost. So I'm not going to worry about the other side at the moment. I'm just going to stick this down. And I am going to let it overlap. Now don't worry if the glue comes through. That's actually a good thing If the glue comes through to the other side of the paper, it just means that it's all going to be properly stuck down. I think this is a good thing. Trademark. So I've done one side, and I'm going to wait for this to dry. If it is indeed that wet, and if I've been very good, and I've stuck all the corners down really well, there is something else, another characteristic of this paper that is quite good. Maybe I can show you. Maybe I'll take a chance. But the part that you've wet becomes quite easily tearable, she said confidently. Yeah. So there it is. It basically just comes away, you see? And it kind of wisps away. You can actually use water to help it along, which I might actually do. Real quick. Here, I'll fold it over like this. And then I will just and that should really just come away. If it doesn't, it's all right. If it doesn't, I mean, really, I've got to weigh my options here, because I could be watering down the glue before it gets a chance to dry as well, which might not be a great idea. But I just don't want to get into a pattern of folding it in like this, because it's going to eventually get really thin on the inside and get thicker on the outside, and that's no good. So where did my water brush go? There we go. This isn't fun to watch, is it? If you like me to watch me rip wet paper, maybe we'll set up a whole channel dedicated to that, huh? The Ripping Wet Paper channel. That's the next hit on YouTube. The Ripping Wet Paper channel. All right, we're going to have some fun with the leftovers as well. Not sure if that's for today, but yeah, we're going to have some fun with the leftovers. Because it's translucent, it's really, really fun to play with. I know it's more fun to watch, but I'm going to hold it down. And if any of it pulls away in a not so neat fashion, I will just have to remedy that later, because I'm not a perfectionist, and I don't recommend perfectionism to anyone. All right. That's kind of cute. Yeah. So we fold. We apply a little water to the paper edge. And we tear. Okay, one more side. And this side actually includes the tab, and I don't know if I really was counting on that. I think that's a bit of a mistake on my part. What's really good is I'm not feeling any of the tackiness of the glue coming through the paper. But look at that lovely texture. It's fantastic. And that is going to be properly stuck down now. What I might do later on is just go through these extra little edgy bits and just cut them off. Just in case, because I'm going to use a lighter colored paper on the inside. But let's get back to our water and our tearing. Okay, so that's more. Yay. And then we can fold it down like this. Okay, so we have torn the paper kind of away from the edges, and if you look at it, there's a little bit of fluff there. That's all right. That's just a bit of fluff. Let me just get this water thing out of the way so I don't spill it. And that is the first side of the first divider. I'm going to wait until this glue has dried before I go back in with my hole punch because I don't want to render it useless. And I'm just going to pop this. You can't see me doing this, but basically if I want something to be flat, I stick it under my cutting board like so. There. So that's going to go under the cutting board, and I can start the next one. Here we are. This one, not too thrilled with this one. Gosh, you know that ink still wasn't dry from the other day. Picked some of it up on this lovely paper. Okay, time for more glue. Let's be quick about it. I don't know if they still sell this Mulberry paper widely, or whether it just ends up in sort of those mixed bags of paper that you kind of get, sort of hodgepodge sort of surprise box things. But it is a lovely, lovely paper, and it really adds a sort of rustic look and feel to your projects. And I do enjoy the way that it rips and leaves the sort of wispy things on it. That is really, I mean, it can be used as a specific sort of style point. The other thing that I think I'm going to mention to you now is that this paper has sort of a smoother, flatter side and a bumpier side. When you're sticking it down, just try and get the sort of flatter side to go down towards the glue, because this texture is not just a visual, it's also tactile. So you want to be able to sort of experience the texture of the paper. So that feels like it's down properly. I remember I made some cards when I was in my first sort of card making days. And I just took a paintbrush and I drew a rectangle in water and then tore away the outside. And I used that as sort of the central motif with a message on it, and it looked really good. So there's a lot you can do taking advantage of the torn edges as well. Depends on how this goes and where we're at paper-wise later, but we may be able to do something fun with our torn edges, which I am keeping over at the side. All right, I do want to let that sit for a minute before I try the whole, nah, patience is overrated. Okay, put my glue brush over there, get the water brush. Right. I think I'll just use the water like all at once and let it soak in a bit. I'm just tearing it roughly away from the tab edge, just so that I can fold it down here. But yeah, mulberry paper, I haven't really used it for years and I don't know why. It's one of those things that I guess you just forget about sometimes and then it comes back to you. Um, when Faye was looking through her storage to find this, the binder for me, she also found this wad of paper that was all clipped together in a bulldog clip. So what I'm doing is I am working with the paper that was found as long as it matches my sort of intended color scheme, which I hope she likes. I'm going for blues and purples and maybe through a little bit towards aquas and teals. And I know that those are colors that she has liked and used in previous projects, and they're quite calming colors and quite kind of spiritual colors. So that to me is Faye all over. So that's why I'm doing it. There were a few sort of pieces of like a green, like lime green, but I didn't go there. Um, I think that's like heading into me territory, and this isn't my project. So, whoop. All right. So the paper has been torn, and I've got the little wispy edges still. And I'm thinking if I use a lighter color on the back, maybe these lovely wisps will get caught between the layers and will actually add interest to the project. But yeah, check out the texture. It's lovely. Again, I just want to touch it. It's lovely. Very nice. So that one's going to go under the work surface as well. And yes, I am hyper aware that there's a possibility that they may stick together. So I'm being really good trying to put them side by side under the work surface. They're not likely to stick to the work surface. Work surface is not very porous. Right, next. I keep worrying that I'm not facing them the right way, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I mean, I will be using different colors and stuff. So I'm going to go for this. Ooh. Now see, I got a little bit of ink on here that was stuck on the table. I'm really curious though, because it's Rome Burning Ink by Noodlers. And I'm wondering if maybe it will behave itself like a Noodler's ink if I get it wet. But I have to wait until I've stuck it down. So here's the glue again. I do like to be quick with the glue. And focus on those edges and corners. Especially if you're doing the tearing technique with the water. It really needs to be stuck down. It's gone quiet, so I must be concentrating. Okay, paper time. All right, here it is. This is the bit that I'm going to try and avoid. Where's the smooth side? That's the smooth side. And that changes the game slightly. Okay. Yep. Oh, I can feel that glue moisture. Yuck. Okay. Let's apply some water to this ink and see what happens. No, it's not running. That's fine. Just wanted to see. No biggie. It doesn't matter that I got it wet because I'm going to be tearing into it anyway. I might give this just a second because this was a bit juicy with the glue. I went a little bit crazy. Let's see. Do I do another one while I'm waiting for this one to dry? You're seriously just watching glue dry here, aren't you? Don't we love it? Okay. I'm going to water and tear it. That is not going to be cool. It's going to be a fairly easy one to tear, I think. And avoiding the tab. Like I said, the tabs we are going to do later anyway. Might even just use some washi tape with it. I'm not sure yet. So many options. So exciting. But sorry, I'm like working way down here. Right. Time-wise, it's looking like I'm not going to be able to show you the sort of collage effect thing today. This video's run a bit long as it happens. So what I'm going to do is once I'm done tearing this little bit, I'm going to show you the 3 that I have made already. And maybe just leave it there and continue next week. So, won't be much longer. Just tearing the bits out. It took longer than this to do the previous step. Aren't you glad I left it out? So the wispies are here, just like they were on the others. So that's going to be kind of cool. Looks like I kind of got a little over exuberant there and tore off the corner. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, I've got another piece. This is a bit of the leftover. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a piece of this and I'm just going to tear off some of the bits. Now you can see when you tear it, even without water, it goes kind of wispy on the ends. And this lends itself really, really well to being used in collage. And so we are going to collage this over the bottom corner because I did not mean to ruin the corner like that. So here we go. And you can see it's a little bit darker on the corner there where the 2 layers are overlapping, but in the grand scheme of things, kind of looks all right. So here we go. I'm just kind of taking what glue is left on the brush just to stick these wispies down on the back. There isn't a lot of glue. It's not really sticking. So there, I tried. I've got to put that back. Let's have, hold on. This one's going under the work surface. The other 2 are coming out. Okay, let's line these babies up. So this will be the one in the front. It's going to be a lovely blue texture. And I am going to put stuff on the back as well. And that's the purple one. So that's lovely. I don't know if it's my monitor or what, but these colors are a little tiny bit more vibrant than they are on my screen. I don't know about yours. My laptop screen's a bit meh. So let's see if the aqua one has had enough of the flattening to play well with others. Just so we can see what our tabs look like for now. There it is. The reason I cannot keep it like that is because no ink is going to go on there and not feather, because that's what this paper just does. It's the nature of the beast. So that's not going to happen. There will be some extra, but it's nice just to imagine, oh, that's a section, that's a section. It's going to look good. And we will continue this next week. So please join me again for another plan with me. I've been Cy. This has been Unravel and Unwind, and I have really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. See you next week.